Okay, so now we are going to go from an equation to a graph of an exponential equation. And we are given 3 times 2 to the x. And this is in the format of y equals ab to the x. So a is our starting point, or our y-intercept. We're going to draw a point right there. And 2 is going to be the number we're going to multiply that by as we move 1 to the right. So I could make a table. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and just start doubling things to the right. And then we'll go to the left after. We'll talk about kind of how that works. So as I move over to 1 on the x-axis, I'm going to double my y value, which is going to take me from 3 all the way to 6. And then from 6 to the right, I'm going to double 6. I'm not going to keep multiplying by 3 or anything like that. I'm going to double the number 6, which is going to bring me all the way up to 12. And then when I double 12, it's going to take me all the way up to 24, which is why we have such a crazy tall graph here. Now, the shape of that is definitely a curve, a really steep one. There it is. It's going to continue in that direction. Now, to the left, it's a little bit more confusing because I'm going to want to take half of it. So I can either measure height-wise half, or I can kind of think about what's half of 3. And half of 3, if I go 1 to the left, would just be at 1.5. And half of 1.5 would be 0.75. And that's when I'm going to start just sort of eyeballing that it looks like half. And we are going to be approaching the x-axis here. And this will actually never reach the x-axis. So we're looking at an asymptote, which means a line that we're going to approach but never reach. And in this case, our asymptote is at y equals 0. And in most of these, actually, it'll be y equals 0. What will change it is if you have a value afterwards, like a plus or minus, that'll change your asymptote. But for both of the examples that we're going to do on this page, the asymptote would just be at y equals 0. It's important to draw that to show that, hey, we're going to approach it but never reach it. And there we go.